when you're in this position, as Lenny Wilkes is taking advantage of, you throw a lot of different things to make the guys have to think about other than what they want to think about.
Shelton against Paul. 8 seconds on the shot clock to Sikma. An offense foul. Under the basket, Wally Rooney calls a Seattle foul
on Lonnie Shelton.
And that's going to be number 4 on Lonnie Shelton, who has been picking up fouls. Sonic survived his picking up fouls in game 1, and he will go to the bench, and Danny Brains will come back. So here's the rookie from Utah and the first-round draft pick. Minute and a half remaining, first half. 44-28 to Sonics. Murphy. They need his point. Sikma out to Williams. Sonics running. Brains. Hanslick has position. It counts and a foul. He had position under the basket. Sam Schulman, chairman of the board of the Sonics.
Here's the pass there. Now Hanslick is already got position already, so there, got it. And Murphy didn't screen him out. But he probably never had a chance because they never really set up, and you very rarely get a chance to screen a guy out on the fast break.
Foul was on Elvin Hayes. He has 3 fouls. 18-point lead. Nearly a minute remaining in the first half. Houston's going to really have to start hitting shots and playing their game. Rocket bench is yet to score as Allen Level hits outside. He was successful Friday night, and the Rockets are going to need outside shooting to take the heat off of Malone and Hayes.
The danger with that shot is that you have to make about 7 out of 10. 40
seconds in the half as Hayes and Malone
in order to be effective with it, because if you don't, the other team, when you miss, they get a good chance at a fast break across a long rebound.
Level and Williams gambling for the steal, amongst the leaders in steals this year. Paul sets a screen, can't get the ball back. 9 seconds on the shot clock, 21, and Elvin Hayes just fires it up. The Rockets were not organized at all when they had the ball there, and the fans know it. They sense something. Gus Williams. And we have 1 second showing on the clock. And the Rockets will have to go back to the drawing board at least to get set and organized in the second half to do what they do best. Level shot was no good. And that's the end of the first half. The Sonics with a whopping 16-point lead. But Brent Musburger will be back with a lot from the CBS Sports Desk in just a moment.
Continue with our halftime activities. Let's go to Morton Dean of CBS News for this update on the city. Early today, over in the Eastern Conference, there was a confrontation between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers. The 76ers won it by 3 points for Billy Cunningham, but it was tough. Here's Bob Lanier on the alley-oop to Sidney Moncrief. Moncrief had 23 points for Don Nelson before he fouled out of the game. Andrew Toney, meanwhile, scored 26 for Cunningham and the 76ers. Watch Mo Cheeks get inside to Bobby Jones for a stuff. It's a 3-pointer, 13 points for Jones. Bob Lanier on the block of a shot by Cheeks. Milwaukee on the break, and watch Marcus Johnson on the follow. He'll yell that he's right behind his man. And that gave the Bucks a 6-point lead. But then the doctor got red hot. Taking down a missed shot, banked it in. That put the 76ers up by a point. And then with time running out in the game, Milwaukee might have tied it with a 3-pointer, but Robert Smith forgot the situation, penetrated the 3-point line, and passed off instead of going for the 3-point shot. Philadelphia a winner, and of course Game 2 of that series will be played on Wednesday night also in Philadelphia. Meanwhile, the defending world champion Boston Celtics got off to a strong start against the Washington Bullets, even though they trailed the Bullets by a field goal at the end of the first half. It was Spencer Haywood who had Gene Shue and the Bullets going strong at the start of the game. But the Celtics have simply too much talent, including, of course, All-Pro Larry Bird And watch ML Carr on a fast break. The Celtics a step quicker than their bullet counterparts. Tiny Archibald coming up the floor. He'll go to Robert Parrish for the stuff, and the Celtics win it easily by 18 points. Second game of that series, also Wednesday night, also back in the Boston Garden. Checking the baseball scoreboard right now. Philadelphia has ended the St. Louis Cardinals' 12-game winning streak. 8-4 was the final. Steve Carlton wins for the first time this year after losing his first 4 games. Montreal over the New York Mets 5-2. Andre Dawson 3 hits for the Expos in that game. And the Chicago Cubs down the Pittsburgh Pirates 5-3. Larry Boa had a pair of RBIs as he went 2 for 3 in Wrigley Field for the winners. And San Diego had won 10 straight, but they were rained out this afternoon in Atlanta. So the Padres now will go back to the West Coast. They will play the Mets on Tuesday night, shooting for 11 in a row. Meanwhile, the Baltimore Orioles have edged the Chicago White Sox 2-1. Catcher Rick Dempsey hit a 2-run homer for Earl Weaver's team to win that game. And in tennis, Gene Mayer was trailing Jimmy Connors 5-2 in the first set, but because of a sprained right ankle, Mayer had to default, so Jimmy Connors is the winner of that tournament. And we will continue here on... Another final score is in from Yankee Stadium. The Yankees have won at home for the first time this year. They downed the Detroit Tigers 3-1, and so the Tigers' 8-game winning streak has come to an end. Now, after a short dry spell, boxing fans will get the star player or pro coach and currently a broadcaster in New York. This man has excelled in whatever endeavors he has undertaken. Richie Guerin is the subject of our Rebound feature today.
Old Spice presents Rebound, brought to you by new Old Spice antiperspirant and original Old Spice deodorant. They both work overtime.
Richie Guerin was too shifty to be handled one-on-one in the pivot, scoring on tricky scoops and sheer determination. And from long range, Richie split the net with looping two-handers. In 1956, the New York Knicks drafted Guerin from tiny Iona College, a rugged 6'4", 210-pounder who soon proved to be the first of the NBA's great power guards. Richie prided himself on his ability to find the open man, and in 1962, Guerin scored nearly 30 points a game. As a Knick, Guerin appeared in 6 consecutive All-Star contests. Then he concluded his career as player-coach of the Atlanta Hawks before retiring to the bench full-time in 1969. And whenever a ball game rode on one shot, Richie Guerin's specialty was busting headlong to the hoop.
Now, Old Spice
NBA playoffs now have taken this kind of form. Boston and Washington and the Celtics appear to be much better than the Bullets. Milwaukee, Philadelphia, that is still going to be a tough series, even though the 76ers won by 3 this afternoon. Meanwhile, down west, Los Angeles and Phoenix will start their best 4 of 7 series, and that will begin Tuesday night in the Los Angeles Forum. San Antonio awaits the winner of this afternoon's Houston-Seattle series. If Seattle holds on and win, then the Sonics would have the home court advantage, and again, that series would start Tuesday night out in Seattle. Houston, ice cold in the second quarter, held to only 10 points. We'll see how they do in the third, and we will continue our coverage of the NBA here on CBS Sports Sunday in just a moment.
The breathtaking Olympic Mountains here in the state of Washington, and we're in Seattle, where we want to remind you, as you look at the Kingdome, which is being occupied, this game being played at the Seattle Center Coliseum, that at the conclusion of today's game in each of our NBA telecasts during the season, we select the Miller High Life Most Valuable Player of the Game. In conjunction with this award, Miller High Life will present a check for $1,000 to the Special Olympics organization in the name of the player selected. Bill, you and I will be selecting the MVP, and today's winner will be announced at the end of the telecast. Looking at the statistics, the Rockets have only one player, Allen Level, shooting better than 42%. And that's the story there, the rebounding story. Shelton and Sikma have 17 between them. Moses Malone has only 6 so far. We're going to show you shortly about how they're defending Moses Malone, who is the leading scorer. But key, Robert Reed, only 1 point, nothing for 4 from the field. And Del Harris has been saying all along, his position is the key matchup for the team. Williams and Shelton, 10 apiece, are the top scorers as the Sonics are shooting 42%. But more important, I think in this game we mentioned bench. Houston has not gotten anything from their bench. Moses Malone, let's start talking about him, because as Mo goes, so go the Rockets.
Well, what they've done is they've double teamed and triple teamed him so much so that says they're daring the other guys to score. And so far they haven't. Now what they're doing is they're keeping him off the boards. Now here you see the Seattle defense on the defense, trying to keep him from getting the offensive rebounds. Now there's no way. And they're playing this way, and they're sending different guys out there, but this is the idea, is that if they can make Elvin Hayes and Moses Malone have to work so hard that they're inefficient, and that they shoot a lower percentage, and they don't get as many rebounds as they would like, they can beat the other guys, they feel.
The Rockets are down by 16. Their style is not conducive to coming from behind. I know we saw them do it against San Antonio when they trailed by 14 points, but Seattle is a pretty strong ball club. What must Houston do?
They have to get control of the tempo of the game, which they have not been able to do. The whole first half, it was like trying to hold water in your hand. Seattle kept slipping through, and a couple of pretty good gushes got through. So now they got to get control of the game, and they'll have to shoot better. And they shoot much better when they can control the tempo.
Right. All right, start of the third period. The Sonics. Jake O'Donnell, Wally Rooney are officials today, and Mike Mathis is the alternate. Sikma, Walker, Donaldson starting in place of Shelton, and Hanslick and Gus Williams. The Rockets are going to have to stop the Sonics from scoring first before they start working on their offense. And Moses Malone lost the ball inside and then picks it up. Let's see what Houston does. Lenny Wilkins, player coach, Portland, player coach at Seattle. Allen Level in the backcourt, with Calvin Murphy starting the second period. And Level, the hot shooter and the only hot shooter on this Houston club, now has 10 points, 5 for 8 from the field.
And he started the game off by making his first 2 shots, and then he hit a dry spell.
Marty Aronoff tells us that the Rockets are just 6 for 24 from 15 feet and beyond. So that tells you the story about how far out they're shooting and how unsuccessful they've been. Good feed from Murphy to Level. Short on this shot, but right in the right place is Malone. And the Rockets come out with 4 points off the top. See if this becomes a spark.
They shot those 2 shots awful quick for them, I mean.
All right.
What they do, they look for the easy basket if they have it. And if they don't have it, then they work for the big guys the next 6 seconds. And then the last option is the outside shot and count the big guys that go to the boards.
They double-team Hanslick, and it's still Seattle ball. Loser of this game takes on a vacation, and the winner goes up against San Antonio.
This is one time that a vacation is not a reward.
That's right. Sikma from far out misses, and we'll have a whistle inside. And we'll have a Houston foul on Calvin Murphy, I believe. So Murphy commits his third personal foul
on number 23 for throwing and not making contact.
So they've called another flagrant technical foul. Now,
Calvin for throwing and not making contact.
Right, now let us clarify what happened to Elvin Hayes before. He threw the elbow, did not make contact, was called for the flagrant technical, did not count as a personal foul against him. So Elvin still has 3, and the same thing's happening right now to Calvin Murphy. But Sikma, of course, the best shooting center in the NBA at 85%, so it's not unusual that a center's taking a shot.
You take your best free throw shooter and you put him at the line, and he'll miss sometimes.
Shelton is the only player on the floor with 4 fouls. Elvin has 3 and Calvin Murphy has 2, so foul trouble, only Lonnie Shelton right now. Now they're going to call a jump ball.
I guess the big guys will jump.
Malone and Donaldson.
Now they've been standing around so long they forgot which way they were going.
Don't know why they're calling the jump ball on that play. They call level with the personal foul when before Houston took over possession after Hayes' flagrant foul. But this one,
Seattle had the ball. It goes back to the team that originally had possession.
Okay, and Hayes had possession.
Before, on this play, Seattle had possession.
47-34, 13-point lead, and they're back in it. And an offensive foul called against the Sonics, and it's going to be against Donaldson. Second foul on James Donaldson from Washington State. So
now, a lot of stuff that we've seen away from the ball, these guys are getting a little ill-tempered, and maybe the referees are trying to get control of the game again.
Murphy did not take a good shot, but it last touched by Houston with Sonics ball. So the Rockets have an opportunity to get back in the game right now with less than 2 minutes gone by in the third, down by 13.
But they'll have to make some of their shots, and they are not doing that very well at this point.
You got to count on Murphy making those. Donaldson, Hayes giving him room. Malone out to meet Sikma. Inside ball knocked away from Hanslick. Hanslick recovers. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Into Wally Walker. Reverse layup. Sikma keeps it alive. And it goes. So once again, the Sonics are showing their superiority on the offensive boards. 9.5 minutes to go, third period. Sikma, 12 points.
Now that's the shot that Murphy wants to get. Get a pick and get the ball on the move.
All time.
He's going toward the basket that way. Even from there, he's a good shooter, but he's not a good shooter if he has to stand up and shoot.
Come on,
1 for 5 from the field for Calvin. All-time leading performer in many categories for Houston. Wally Walker, he shoots well on that play. He's better when he's shooting on the run than he is when he's stationary. 15-point lead for the Sonics. Their lead was 16 at the half. The Rockets had it down to 13. Murphy in the crowd. Plenty of time on the clock. Hayes double teamed by Williams and Sikma. Banks it in anyway. Elvin with 9. He averaged 16 on the year. Right now the Rockets trying to get it under 10 if they can. As Sikma hits baseline. Sikma having a superb day after struggling from the field in the Houston Summit Friday night. He has 16 points, make it 14.
Come on, Chase!
Level on the run. Sikma has it. Williams coming back for the ball, pulls up. Rockets still taking some poor percentage shots outside, and the Sonics taking advantage of it. Murphy. Reed, Malone. Malone. Not to be denied is Moses Malone, and they can't get it up there. Murphy got a new clock for Houston. Level drops, and is fouled. So Houston had several chances. And we're going to see Larry Spriggs come in the game, a very early appearance for the 4th-round draft choice from Howard University, who was Rookie of the Year at Rochester of the Continental Basketball Association. But, Bill, maybe that's what we're talking about when you're saying the Rockets have to try something.
Yes, they're at a place where they're going to have to come up with something spectacular because they're out of the game now. But if this kid can do something, they might get him back in the ball game.
When you're saying the Rockets have to try something.
Yes, they're at a place where they're going to have to come up with something spectacular because they're out of the game now. But if this kid can do something, they might get him back in the ball game.
The top rebounding leaders in the NBA, Moses Malone, who is #1 on the offensive glass. Jack Sikma, the best defensive rebounders. They were 1-2, and this is what the story is so far today. And keep in mind that Moses Malone in February had a tremendous day against Seattle with a record 32 rebounds, 21 offensive rebounds. So that's a league record. But Sikma has the measure of him so far. Wally Walker committed his 2nd personal foul, and Allen Level is shooting. That's today's rebounding story. Larry Spriggs, the brother of Ed Spriggs, played at Georgetown. NCAA finalist, loses to North Carolina. 15-point Seattle lead. Gus.
Get up, Larry!
Murphy's on Hanslick, giving up a lot of inches there.
Hands away! Get up,
Spriggs
Larry!
knocking the ball away from Walker, so Spriggs is on Walker. Malone on Sikma. Williams trying to pass and does this Donaldson. And he'll call fouling against James Donaldson. But they seem to execute that play pretty well.
Well, there's the pass there. He got it, but too much traffic there, so they gave it down somehow. They took a few steps.
Turnover the other way. And Gus gently places the ball in the net. 17-point lead. A turnover. Sikma to Gus Williams. 7 minutes to go, third period. Seattle in control of this ball game.
If Houston's to have a chance, they've got to get this lead down at least 10
by the end of the period. They have 5 seconds on the clock. Allen Level on the run, hits the jump shot, but he's the only one doing anything from outside. He has 14 points,
or
as does Malone.
At this point.
That's right.
Al, you go ahead and handle it out there. Go deeper, and then get
Level is on Gus Williams. The rookie Spriggs, 4th-round draft choice, playing the pressure situation here. And Sikma over Malone is fouled by Moses. So that is the first team foul, second team foul on the Rockets, and the 3rd personal foul on Moses Malone. So Malone and Hayes each with 3. Shelton has 4, and Calvin Murphy also has 3 fouls. So it's a Seattle story right now, and Houston knows it's got 6:18 to go in the 3rd, and they've got to come up with something before it's too late. That's our score. Seattle in control, and Bill Del Harris told his team, you've got to stop them when they have the ball. And you've been saying that all along as Lenny Wilkins over on his sideline, and I guess if the break is there, he'll run the break. I think he's got to start getting points somewhere.
Well, what Del Harris' theory is that you run the break, and if you get an easy shot, because easy shots are too hard to come by, and you get as many of those as you can on the break. But if you don't have it, his first priority, go down and look and see if you got a good shot. If you don't have it, then you look for the big guys inside. If that doesn't work, then you go to the outside shot. And so that their last option is the outside shot. If they're not hitting that, that's why they're 16 behind.
Well, the first thing he said was don't take any bad shots, and that's what they've been doing, taking bad shots for the most part. Seattle swarming game. We haven't seen John Johnson yet, who played a key role in Wednesday night's opening victory for the Sonics. 17-point lead for Seattle, 6:10 to go, and Spriggs goes up with a good move. So Larry Spriggs, who signed March 9th to a contract, apparently has good quickness. Played only briefly in Game 2 Friday night. Wally Walker and Hanslick and Spriggs hit, and Larry Spriggs is hit with the foul, and that'll be the 13th foul against the Rockets with 5:52 to go here in the 3rd period.
But what they want to do is make the Sonics have to work real hard to get, they call an offensive foul on Donaldson, I believe.
That's right. Bill, 3 fouls now on Donaldson.
What they're trying to do is make them work hard so that they won't get the real good shot in the rhythm they wanted, and then maybe they can get the defensive rebounds and go down and get a shot.
5:45 to go. Hayes is open. Level finds him. Sikma there. Murphy is swinging around, and they're just surrounding Moses Malone. They get it into Malone, and he's fouled before the shot. They're all around Moses Malone and making him work to get open.
Here's Moses drawing a crowd as usual. There's Donaldson giving him a push. Now he's trying to get the ball. There's the foul right there.
4th personal foul on Donaldson.
There are 3 guys right there just in case he did get the ball.
Donaldson goes out with 4 fouls. He has not scored in the ball game. And Lonnie Shelton comes back, and he's playing with 4.
They sent him out too late.
But he will come in.
First chance.
5.5 to play, 3rd period. Dick Stockton and Bill Russell from the Seattle Center Coliseum with the Rockets. Now they're back to the wall, trailing in the deciding game. Allen Level, he's kept them within 13, 16 points. 7 for 12 shooting for Allen. Level is guarding Hanslick.
Squeeze in, no middle. Work, Larry. Get him, Larry.
6'7".
Get up, Larry.
Murphy trying to keep Sikma away from the hoop. They post both centers down, leaving Hanslick free.
Good pass by Donaldson. Just the right velocity so that Wally Walker could easy to handle shot.
Wally Walker with 8 points. 61 to 46 Seattle. 4:45 remaining. Walker is on Spriggs, and he tried to force it inside. Murphy is there, drives up, and a Seattle foul. Their 3rd team foul. And now Lonnie Shelton can come back in the ball game. So Lonnie Shelton, who was a 2nd-round draft choice by the New York Knicks 6 years ago and came to Seattle, compensation for Marvin Webster, who was signed by New York. Walker has 3 fouls. Stays in the game. And so Wilkins giving Donaldson some instruction as Murphy, who's one of the best free throw shooters of all time, missing.
That was a rare occasion, I think. So I missed.
1 of 2 for Calvin, who's at 91%. Major Jones has been injured. Strained arch has sidelined him. Otherwise, he'd be the first front court man coming off the bench for Del Harris. And we'll have a Houston foul. So a lot of whistles at both ends. And fouls are coming aplenty here. 4:30 remaining, third period, and Spriggs picks up his second. Second on the rookie, Larry Spriggs. Lenny Wilkins with Wally Walker, championship at Portland.
Wally,
and
you're
Seattle.
going to come like you're going to set the screen, right? But you can go back door, I think.
Wait till it. So Walker has instructions, and Gus looking for a 16th point of the game. He has 7 assists as well. And he has it. So Williams and Sikma each with 16 points. Level has 16 to lead Houston. Malone 14 and Hayes 9. And Hayes has just struggled shooting throughout this series. Spriggs all the way up. Not that time. And Hanslick comes down with it. 4:15 to go. Sees a double team. Finds Williams. Good passing. Walker. Good passing by the Rockets. Or by the Sonics, that is. And they're moving the ball well.
And they've got it back to 18.
Matches their biggest lead. Last time it was at 46-28.
Now Houston still has almost 4 minutes, but they got to get it back. They got to try to get it back to 10.
Rockets with
if they're
14
going to have any
fouls
chance at all.
And Sonics 3. Seattle has never lost a mini-series. They're 3-0 in mini-series. The Rockets are 3-1. Sikma backs it in. He regained his shooting eye, no question about it. 18 points. And the big guy from Illinois Wesleyan, who's hit his last 3 shots. Houston held to 30 points in the first half. Matchup at his position, according to Del Harris, since the start of the series, is the key to the Rockets' success. He's missed all 4 shots he's taken. 3:13 to go. Walker on the run. Sikma, foul. The Sonics are doing a terrific job on the offensive boards today. Lenny Wilkins played with the St. Louis Hawks, his first pro team.
One of the difficult things that probably Jack Sikma has the same problem is that if you're a good rebounder, or most good rebounders don't screen out very well because they figure they can get the ball. But if there's any kind of a bounce that's not strictly normal, then you give up good position. And so Moses Malone probably would not screen out very well, and neither would Elvin Hayes because they're both good rebounders. I think it would be the same thing is true of Jack Sikma. They're good rebounders, and they don't screen out as well, so that if there's, as I said, the ball bounces anyway other than straight, the other guy has a good shot at it.
Sikma has 20 points. He's 8 for 8 from the line, and a timeout. And the University of Washington Husky cheerleaders have a lot to cheer about. Biggest lead of the game right now for the Seattle Sonics. Bill Hanslick and Wally Walker been keys. Now you look at what Seattle has done defensively to opposing shooters, 46%. So 2 games now, Houston has been under 40%. They're at 36 right now. And Hanslick knocks the ball away. Hanslick has 7 points and 6 rebounds. Wally Walker has 10 points. So key performances by 2 of the lesser performers, if you want to talk about Shelton, Williams, and Sikma being the nucleus of this game. Bench has not been a factor in this ball game. Hayes misses outside. Calvin Murphy. And Murphy banks it in. Off the glass. Offensive foul. Seattle bench supported. Now we haven't seen John Johnson, who was an important factor in game 1. But as games go on, there's a different flow, and so you don't need certain people.
Right. You use them under different circumstances. But he has to feel good about the game he had Wednesday night.
Oh, great game. Gambling for the steal is level, but Shelton recovers. 2.5 minutes to play, third period. Sikma. Everything the Sonics do is right, it seems. 22 points for Jack Sikma. who has averaged more than 19 and a half the regular season. Level in the corner. He's the only one hitting from outside for the Rockets. So the lead now back 20 with 2 minutes to play. So we were talking about Houston trying to get it to within 10.
And they went the opposite direction since then.
Level has 10 points this period for the Rockets. Hanslick looking for the open man. Shelton to Williams. Williams, tough penetrator. Hanslick trying to tip it in, and Reed comes down on a loose ball foul against Bill Hanslick of Seattle. Robert Reed, we're going to watch him because Reed, who had a rough outing last Wednesday, Seattle won by 15, came back with a 21-point, 10-rebound effort Friday night. And the Rockets know that normally they get a good game from Malone and Hayes. They need good games from Level and Reed as Fred Brown comes in. And a rest for Hanslick. Bill has 1 foul. Calvin Murphy seen a lot of action.
Stay up, Wally. Stay up, Wally. Right there, open up.
Now Level. Level, 20 points. He averaged 11 nearly during the regular year. 9 for 15 from the field. And if it weren't for Level, it'd be a 30-point game at least right now. Fred Brown.
And the Sonics are not letting them off the hook. Nope. They're making good shots. Every time Houston tries to get back into it.
They'll trade basket for basket anytime now.
Stay there, Wally.
Double team Malone, Robert Reed corner hits. So that's what they're going to need more of. Robert Reed. Less than a minute to play. Third period. Sonics with 14 fouls. Rockets in the penalty. Murphy on Freddie Brown. Reed blocks the shot. And Level picks up the loose ball. So Robert Reed with a block shot. Level finds Reed. He's hit 1. Malone, offensive board against Sikma. Shuffles it up. No good. And we'll have a whistle. They're going to count the goal. They're going to count the goal and call it goaltending. Here's Reed blocking at the other end.
Freddie Brown's going up. He's got Calvin Murphy. So Reed comes up, blocks the shot there, and they come up with a loose ball. End up with 2 points. So it's a 4-point swing because he might have made that.
Malone got credit for the bucket now with 16 points. Williams. And there's the trade.
And someone said help, and too late.
Basket for basket. So Gus with 18 points. Final seconds of the third period. Level for 3. Malone can't get it. Seattle keeps it going. And that's the end of the third period with the score. The Sonics 75, the Rockets 57. And we'll be back with the start of the fourth period here in Seattle after this word from your local station.
The preceding message was furnished by the National Basketball Association. The NBA on CBS is sponsored by your local Big A Auto Parts store. Big A Auto Parts, the hard-working auto parts store. Mita full-service copiers. Mita has a nationwide service network of over 500 dealers. And by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
Game 1 of the series. First half, Houston controlled. Second half, the Sonics. In Game 2, it was Houston all the way. And in this game, it's Seattle all the way. Don't forget, stay tuned for the MVP award at the conclusion of the game. So the Seattle Sonics, who are looking to get into the semifinal round against San Antonio, world champions 3 years ago. Then they won 56 games. And last year dropped to 34 and 48 with Lonnie Shelton out for all but 14 games with a broken wrist surgery, and Gus Williams, a holdout, but this year they've come back with 52 victories, second to the Lakers in the Pacific Division, and look strong right here. Malone fighting Sikma gets, and that's a way to start a fourth period when you're down by so many. Trapping Gus Williams. Dunleavy, who's in there with Level. Malone, Reed, and Hayes. They can play 48 minutes easily. Need be. Sikma driving shot. He's been the key for the Seattle ball game all the way from the start. 24 points for Jack. Dunleavy, good shooting threat, drives inside, knifes in nicely. Seattle coming back. But they've got to stop the Sonics from scoring, the Rockets do, as they trap.
32, get out!
15 seconds on the shot clock. Del Harris watching the defense. They've called the offense. Wally Walker quietly played a very fine game. Outlet pass to Allen Level. He'll pull up with it. So the Rockets miss a chance there. Fred Brown pulls up with it and makes it. That tells you a lot right there.
One guy goes out and shoots. That goes the other way when they go bad.
Less than 2 minutes gone by as Malone and Sikma are really muscling, as you see inside, and we'll have a whistle. Jake O'Donnell with the call.
Number 43.
And the foul is on Jack Sikma. Did I hear him call a technical foul? They call a technical on Sikma. Bill?
Yes, now here's the action here.
No technical.
He and Moses holding position.
Elvin Hayes hits the short jump shot while we're in replay. No technical foul was called, but just a personal on Sikma, his third. We had both heard technical, and I think that's the first thing he said, Jake, and then changed it. Wally Walker. And that's what the Rockets can't do.
Well, the Rockets do not have a good press, as Del Harris has said. And what happens when they press, there are breakdowns, and when the press is broken, uses layup.
Reed. It doesn't mean a thing if the Seattle Sonics can score easily and quickly at the other end. 16-point lead with 9:33 to go. Gus Williams, 18 points and 12 assists. He also had 12 assists in game one. Moving outside, and missing is Fred Brown. Seattle has a new clock. Lenny Wilkins just observing things with the Sonics in command here.
Be ready, be ready.
Dunleavy is on Williams. Reed switches off, and Shelton comes in. Basket good and a foul. And look at the expression on Del Harris's face, and you know that he's thinking this season may be coming to an end. And Sam Shulman of the Sonics is delighted.
Now here's the Wally Walker gives a bounce pass to Lonnie Shelton, comes there, and he makes the layup.
Fourth foul on Hayes. Sonics 3-0 in the mini-series, and right now headed for 4-0 unless things change dramatically. We have a timeout with 9:08 remaining in the fourth period. Temporary home of the Seattle Center Coliseum for the Seattle Sonics, who normally play at the Kingdome, but they'll gladly play like this anywhere as they have a commanding 83-65 lead. Wally Walker has 12 points to match his career playoff high. That's Fred Brown. There's Wally Walker, who played for a championship team at Portland and in Seattle. So he has 2 championship rings. Robert Reed, his opposite number on Houston, has 5 points. So he's won that matchup, which is so important to Del Harris. 2 shots for Lonnie Shelton. One shot.
He made the layup.
Complete 3-point play. Little pressure by Seattle at midcourt. Hayes has the ball knocked away by Sikma, and Fred Brown says, we'll wait and see. Slow it up. Under 9 minutes to go. 84-65. Biggest lead was 22. And Shelton. Gus Williams tips it over to Fred Brown. Wilkins played for the Hawks, played for Seattle, Cleveland, and Portland. Wally Walker can't do the reverse layup. And Robert Reed, who started 39, 2/3 of the season as guard. Dunleavy with a runner. 17-point Seattle lead. They got as close as 13. That's as close as the Rockets were able to get in the second half. They were held to 10 points in the second quarter.
Now Seattle is starting to use the clock as much as possible.
Knocked away by Malone. Level on a break. Malone. Follow up. Moses Malone now with 20 points in the game. but he's been out-rebounded by Jack Sikma. Fred Brown. Bill Harris trying to find the combination. It's been a struggle for the Rockets. Lead on Walker. He did a terrific job. Knocked away by Hayes. And Malone clobbered Jack Sikma.
And he's not walking over to say he's sorry either.
No. And I tell you, Sikma's a big guy himself. He rarely went into a right arm. 4 personals now on Malone. So Hayes and Malone each with 4. Moses Malone, who averaged 14.7 rebounds during the year. Not quite up to that right now. Averaged 31 points a game, second to George Gervin in scoring. And the best free throw shooter, perhaps, on the Sonic team, Sikma. James Donaldson, waiting at the scorer's table to come in. Sikma now with 25 and 14 rebounds, and there's Donaldson. 7:33 to play, 4th period. Celtics beat Washington. 76ers beat Milwaukee in first game Eastern semifinals. We'll tell you what's in store for next weekend on CBS as we continue our NBA playoff coverage.
By yourself.
Dunleavy. Reed. Malone. Hayes says, where's the ball? Open. And here comes Gus Williams. Walker ahead of the field, and Fred Brown is a trailer. Freddie pulls up. Walker is there. They'll call a foul. Loose ball foul on Wally Walker. Complains to Wally Rooney about it. 4 on Walker.
And I'm sure that Wally Rooney was listening. What'd you say?
16-point deficit. Hayes. It's at 14 points.
What did you say?
All right, it's 14 points, Bill. It's as close as they've come. They've got to first stop Seattle, right?
Go. Get up, Brad!
What is happening is now Seattle right now is playing at Houston's pace. And they're going to, unless they're going to do things like that, a left-handed guy make a right-handed shot, they can help Houston catch up if Houston's up to it.
That was Donaldson. Dunleavy to level, who loses the ball out of bounds. Bill Hanslick will check back in. We'll have a timeout. 6 minutes, 28 seconds remaining, 4th period. The Sonics all the way in this one. It's 87-71. And no change in Lenny Wilkins' expression.
No, he doesn't change expression very much. And there's no reason for him to look dismayed at this situation. He doesn't change his expression very much either.
Remember, the WBA Lightweight Championship is on the line in 2 weeks as Arturo Frias defends the crown he won in an upset victory over Claude Noel on December 5th. Frias, then 10th ranked, was a last-minute substitute who went on to knock out Noel in the 8th round. He'll face Ray Boom Boom Mancini, the pride of Youngstown, Ohio. So don't miss it in 2 weeks, May 8th on CBS Sports Saturday. Houston gambling on the defense, trying to get the ball away. Trailing 87-71, 16-point deficit. They come within 13. This lead 22 in this ball game for the Sonics. On the screen, Brown is off, and Reed cleared. The Rockets, remember, they had Dunleavy and Murphy in early to get some points as Hayes misses the bank shot. Houston's guards, other than Alan Level, who has been terrific, are 4 for 16. Gavin Maloof shaking his head. Not this time, Gavin. Elvin Hayes committed his 5th personal foul. Less than 6 minutes remaining.
That way out.
4th period.
Get up on Shelton. Switch.
Harassing Brown. Lonnie Shelton, top of the key. Donaldson fights and gets the offensive rebound. Just when you want to get the rebound, defensive board, Sonics get a new clock. All to their favor. Walker has 10 seconds on the shot clock and runs it in. That's his favorite shot. 18-point lead. Wally Walker 7 for 14 from the field. Dunleavy for 2 points. Hits outside. Like Dunleavy, 6th in the league at 3-point accuracy.
Now, what Houston has to be careful of, if they're to have any chance, is not to give up.
Donaldson open.
That's the kind of thing that will make you give up. Well, what happens is you keep saying, well, we can get it going, we can get it going. And then these things keep happening like that. It starts to take it out of you a little bit.
Sonics foul. It'll be their third team foul, and it's on Bill Hanslick, second personal. Leading scorer in the game is Jack Sikma with 25. Gus Williams has 18. Wally Walker 14, and Lonnie Shelton 13. Good balance for the Sonics. Collapse around Malone. Three-point play, missed by Level, and Hanslick lost it out of bounds. So it's still Houston ball. Clock shows 4:39 remaining. Don't forget the MVP award after the ball game.
There's not very much doubt about that.
Nope. Malone. Dunleavy setting the screen. Hanslick runs into him. Bill Hanslick charge into Malone, and I believe he's called for the personal foul, his third. Rockets are down by 18, and the way it's going, they're going to have to start shooting from three-point territory pretty soon. Hayes has a chance at a three-point play. Elvin Hayes in a crowd banks it in. He had a big three-point play the other night when the Sonics cut the Rockets' margin to 5. Walker's foul, number 5 on Wally. Elvin with 15 goes to the line. He's played Seattle in championship play before. Sikma comes in for Walker. And Wally Walker deserves a hand, going out with 14 points and 7 for 14 from the field. Here's the Big E. Lane violation called against Seattle, I think. Lonnie Shelton might have stepped in. Hayes gets another chance. And he is 1 for 5 at the free throw line today.
Well, the way Seattle's been playing defense, he's not used to being by himself.
Back, Mike.
Hanslick using time. Dunleavy level. Freddie Brown. Donaldson. Some key offensive rebounds for James Donaldson in his second year. According to Lenny Wilkins, really one to watch. A diamond in the rough. Good feed from Brown to Hanslick, and a Houston foul. But Freddie Brown with a good bounce pass inside as Gus Williams comes back in the ball game. Freddie Brown goes out.
And Freddie did a great job today. He made some good shots, but he kept the ball moving and keep them in their game. So you can slow the ball down and still keep your pace up if you movement in the half-court game. Use a lot of movement. But see what happens a lot of times, if teams get in a half-court game, they'll stand around a lot, and that's when you get off rhythm.
Watch Brown's pass into Hanslick again. Thread the needle.
Sees a man breaking free. Bounce pass, so it's coming up, but Robert Reed was up to he blocked it.
Talked about Freddie at 10 points and 4 assists in this ball game.
And at least 1 steal that I can remember, right?
He had 21 points in the first game. Calvin Murphy can just sit and wonder. 33-year-old veteran. 12 years. The Rockets played less this year than in previous years. Dunleavy hits outside. 93-77. The Rockets just can't make up any ground. And the clock works against them with 3:45 to go in the ball game.
This makes things sound strange, but if they can turn it around even now and get in the next minute and a half, get it down to 10, they can.
Turnover. Hayes is hitting the face. He's hitting the eye.
Phantom. That's what the referee said.
Dunleavy, baseline. Tough baseline pass to Allen Level. Fall away by Level. Misses. Donaldson and Reed fouls him back there. Robert Reed commits his 3rd foul.
Now here's the play that Elvin said he got hit on, I think. He gets the rebound there and hands it right there.
16-point lead for the Seattle Sonics. And Calvin Murphy coming in, and you know what they want from him?
Lots of points. Now some people might think that Hayes was acting. He's not that good an actor. He acts a lot, but he's not that good.
Donaldson shooting one in the penalty with the Rockets over the limit. Both teams are. James with 7 rebounds and 4 offensive rebounds today. And you see his point total. Played 1 year in Italy.
I think he learned to speak Italian while he's over there.
He might have learned to enjoy Italian food.
As big as he is, he doesn't have to learn anything.
275 pounds.
And he's down. His weight's down.
You know, he was originally, when he came to camp, after 4 years after his career at Washington State, at 250. And when he came back at 275 from Italy, Lenny Wilkins first thought to be too much, but he can handle that weight.
Yes. I bet you in the European restaurants were a little shook up when he walked in.
And another Houston foul. They're going to have 2 more shots at the hoop, and now frustration really setting in on the Houston Rockets with 3:07 remaining in the 4th period. And the Sonics, who have been in the driver's seat all the way in this game. Carol Dawson, that's Del Harris's assistant coach. And so Jack Sikma, who hasn't missed from the free throw line. And we understand he has missed 1, 9 of 10, which is 90%, which is more than his season's average.
Hey, you did that good, 90%, just like that.
Thanks. Thanks, Lowe. What a game he's had. He's been the star of the game. This is his second free throw. Gets his own rebound.
Now, you see, he knew he'd missed that one. When you, you know,
Robert,
sometimes,
you didn't know he was missing
sometimes you let it go, and you know you missed it before it leaves your hands. It's one of those,
You almost say the Sonics are beating the Rockets at their own game. You know that? They're beating Houston at their own game.
That's about it. Now we can...
You hung in there longer than I did.
Now we can stay here and wrap it up. But
well, we're going to have to, folks. We got 2:43 and MVP awards and perhaps interviews to conduct. Timeout. It's been a grand day outside in Seattle and a great day inside for the Sonics. But next Friday night, Game 3 of Western Conference semifinal, the Los Angeles Lakers against the Phoenix Suns, who lost the opening game to Denver, then won the next 2. And Saturday afternoon, Bill and I will be in Milwaukee for Game 3 of the 76ers and the Bucks, beginning 3:30 or Philadelphia and Milwaukee in the first game, and then the Western semifinals, Game 4 in the second games of the doubleheader. LA, Phoenix, and Seattle, San Antonio. Check your local listings as we move into Games 3 and 4 of the conference semifinals.
Keep coming.
Moses Malone now with 22 points. 2:15 remaining. And the Sonics using the clock with a commanding lead. The Seattle will be 4-0 in mini-series history. 3 seconds on the clock, and Sikma throws it up left-handed. Shelton keeps it alive. Houston led once. 7-point lead at the quarter, 16 at the half. And the Houston Rockets, who a year ago were the Cinderella team, upsetting the Lakers in the mini-series and then going all the way to the championship finals before losing to the Celtics in 6 games. We're hoping to catch lightning in a bottle again with a better year. They were 46-36, but could not get past Seattle in the opening round here. A fine season for the Rockets, but could be even finer for the Seattle Sonics, whose playoff trail goes on. Seattle will next go against San Antonio, and the Sonics would like nothing better than to face the Lakers for the Western Conference title. 1:45 remaining. 4th period, 98-79. And our congratulations to the Phoenix Suns for coming from behind. And also to the Denver Nuggets for having a season no one anticipated that they'd have. Doug Moe and his staff, Les Haberger, along with Lenny Wilkins. And I think Seattle, the team to be reckoned with as they move on.
They were a team to be reckoned with all the time, Dave. As Houston would tell you.
Well, they won 52 games and lost 30 in the regular season.
When you win over 50 games, you are a team to be reckoned with, no matter what the circumstances.
1:25 remaining. And Jack Sikma, struggling from the field in the last game,
would probably win the MVP for the game today.
I would say so. Danny Breen replaces Lonnie Shelton. And Shelton goes out with 13 points and 10 rebounds in a fine effort.
And 75 bruises.
Yeah. He had Elvin Hayes in this series. Malone still playing with incredible intensity. One minute remaining now. Phil Smith will come in. Sikma trying to add to a great day. 30 points for Jack Sikma. And a whistle and a foul with 48 seconds to go. So Phil Smith and Ray Tolbert come into the ball game. Donaldson goes out. We'll be seeing a lot of him in the years to come, I have a hunch. Mike Dunleavy shooting. Ray Tolbert had a fractured bone in his face and has had to wear a protective mask. He was acquired from New Jersey in a trade that sent James Bailey to the Nets. And there's Greg Pelser, who came over from the Pistons in exchange for Vinnie Johnson. And Jack Sikma on the bench with 30 points and 17 rebounds. And outplayed Malone, who had 22 points and 13 rebounds. A big part of the story here. 40 seconds to play. .30 seconds. Tolbert from Indiana. And a loose ball foul. Well, the Miller High Life Most Valuable Player Award goes to Jack Sikma, who dominated his position against one of the most dominating centers in the game, Moses Malone.
You did that very well.
You have anything to add?
Real good. No, I think the pictures spoke for themselves.
The Miller High Life $1,000 donation will be made to the Special Olympics on behalf of Jack Sikma. 30 points, 17 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Was that a unanimous vote, or?
Well, Mike Burks agrees in the truck. So what
does that mean?
What do you think about Seattle San Antonio upcoming, Bill?
The team that plays the best defense should come out of it. And Seattle has shown that they can play pretty good defense.
What about LA and Phoenix?
Same thing. Both of those teams. The fewer teams that survive, the stronger they are defensively. Because the great shooters can have bad shooting days and still win ball games. Gus Williams hasn't really played real well the second half Wednesday night, but he hasn't had the kind of night he's capable of. But he picked up a lot of assists and played very well.
Moses Malone is over at the Seattle bench congratulating the Sonics. A great show of sportsmanship for a great basketball player. Dunleavy misses the shot. They're just playing it out now. Alvin Murphy misses. Pelser the rebound. The Sonics have won. They win the mini-series 2-1 as Del Harris shakes hands with Lenny Wilkins. The Rockets have nothing to be ashamed of. They had a fine season, and the Sonics go on against the San Antonio Spurs. Final score 104-83 for Bill Russell. Dick Stockton saying so long. Back with Brent Musburger after these commercial messages.